Okay, so we got some massive buffs being proposed for military base. But before we talk about it, I just want to make it clear that none of these changes are confirmed yet. Everything shown here is still subject to change, and they are currently gathering feedback from the community. Okay, so Nim said, military base has always been a tricky tower to balance. With only a single vehicle spawning every 35 to 50 seconds, the tower concentrates all of its strength into one singular fragile unit, making it an inconsistent and often mediocre pick compared to its alternatives. To address this issue, I'd like to propose a new rebalance for the military base aimed at buffing it across the board and improving its consistency heavily. Conceptually, this balance change would make it so starting at level 4, the gunner Humvee will spawn alongside the tank. So we are getting 2 units at level 4. Gunner Humvees would spawn much faster and offer quicker, more consistent DPS, while tanks would spawn far less often, but pack a significantly higher punch and act as a safety net. On max level, we could even experiment with the idea of having gunner Humvees, tanks, and railgun tanks all spawn in conjunction with varying spawn times to balance the tower out. And honestly, just hearing that already sounds like a huge buff. Just imagine, starting at level 4, the gunner Humvee would spawn with tank. That means you'll have 2 different vehicles spawning from the same military base, with the Humvee providing more consistent DPS, while the tank acts as the stronger but slower vehicle. And then at max level, they could potentially make the gunner Humvee, tank, and railgun tank all spawn together. Obviously, they would have different spawn times to keep the tower balanced, but if this actually gets implemented, military base could become significantly stronger. Nim also mentioned that these changes would require major adjustments to the tower's stats. The military base would likely end up with much more expensive upgrade costs on the higher levels to balance out the improved consistency and value from having a constant influx of vehicles on the path. However, ideally, these changes would still overall improve the tower's viability greatly and make it a standout option in the intermediate tower category as we prepare for mecha base's arrival. So far, this rebalance concept seems to be getting a pretty good reaction from the community. Again, this is not confirmed, it's still a concept and they are still collecting feedback, so some of these changes could be completely different by the time they actually release. But personally, I really like this concept.